So if you've been playing MMORPGs for a while, you know the major ones have a monthly subscription tied to them, and you feel like you are having to play just because you're paying. Then you stumble across Guild Wars 2, and that buy once, play forever model is fantastic.
Nice.
But after playing for a while, you realize that some of the things in the game are a little bit throttled. Bank expansion, storage space, heck, even some of the mounts are behind a gem paywall. And I'll be the first one to say I'm super duper cheap when it comes to these types of things. Like my buddy's best man gift was literally a shirt that I think he gifted me. All joking aside, I seriously avoid spending money when I really don't have to, especially if I don't know that the value is going to be there. Well, I'm going to help you out here in Guild Wars 2. These are the most important things to purchase from the gem store that will greatly increase the capabilities of your account and your characters. I'm going to break this down in order of least important and working my way up to the most critical things that you can spend your hard-earned cash on. Let's get into it. First and least important in my opinion, but still has value, is the unbreakable gathering tools. Throughout your playthrough of Guild Wars 2, you have gone through a number of these gathering tools, the mining pick, the logging axe, and the harvesting sickle. You of course use them, but sometimes you don't keep up with them, so you don't even bother to go ahead and get the new ones because your last ones broke. The unbreakable gathering tools are perfect for those of you who want to set and forget about gathering. I personally recommend these in the long run. As your playtime here, you'll spend quite a bit of coin on those regular gathering tools. These will save you a headache and annoyance of having to purchase those new tools. Now this purchase is not a light one, sitting at $30 for the amount of gems you will need to get them. However, it is of course a great convenience. Next on the importance list is the character expansion slot. If you went for the deluxe version of End of Dragon, or any of the previous expansions in Heart of Thorns or Path of Fire, you receive a free character slot. That's awesome! But now as you spend some time playing the game and trying out the different professions and classes, you've hit that wall. There's so much more that you want to try and you want to do, but you don't have the space to do so, and you're not willing to delete one of your characters that you just got to max level. The character expansion slot will allow you to have more freedom, of course, across your account, and then give you the room to try different things. And if you're like me, personally, I wanted to have at least a slot for each of the 9 professions. So, of course, I spent a little bit of my hard-earned money on this. It'll cost you roughly about $10 for the gems required to add this to your account, and there also seems to be no cap, so potentially you can purchase 100 of them. I don't know. What's the highest amount that you've gotten? Tell me in the comments section down below. Moving on, I will talk about the shared inventory slots. You receive these from the upgraded versions of the expansions, but you can also purchase them outright from the gem store. These shared inventory slots will allow you to carry specific items from one character's inventory to the next. This also means specific items like account-wide items, for example, that will be able to be shared in that slot, and every character will have access to without having to log in and out to transfer between the two. Now these are not necessarily cheap, as each slot has a base cost of about 700 gems, which is slightly less than $10 each. But you can purchase a pack of them at a discounted rate, so keep that in mind. Next up is one of the more important items that you can have onto your account. I will need to talk about the expansions, Bank Tab and Storage Tab. The Bank Tab storage gives you another bump of storage space within your account, allowing you to hold a lot more of these precious items. It really makes a big difference if you were storing some gear, rare collectibles, legendary precursors, and more. I will say that this helps out tremendously, as it somewhat functions like a shared inventory slot, but it does have the caveat of having to run to the bank, drop off those items, log out, log back in, go to the bank, and pick them up. It's a little bit of a hassle. I find myself using more and more space as my playtime goes on, so it's a necessity in my opinion. This runs a cost of about 600 gems, or equal to about $7.50 US dollar. The other half of this is the storage expander, and this is significantly more important in my opinion. Your base level is 250 for each of the material storage slots. Purchasing this will expand it by 250. This is pivotal in my opinion, because as your playtime goes on, you will gather more and more items along your adventures, and you'll eventually run out of space. And many endgame items, such as legendaries, require a lot of crafting materials, so it ends up paying for itself in convenience in the long run. Now it seems like you can purchase quite a few of these expansions, and each one of them goes for a rate of about $10 each. Moving on to my top 2, as many of you could have guessed, the Copperfedge Salvage-O-Matic is without a doubt one of the most important purchases that you can make in Guild Wars 2. Salvaging items is a huge part of this game, and this makes a massive difference with literally everything that you get. Most of the random items you acquire through your time in Guild Wars 2 are useless and can be utilized as materials once you salvage them. But the pain of salvaging is these kits that you have to incorporate into your inventory. And each of these kits basically only have 25 charges. Do they not realize how many items we have to salvage on a daily basis? It's incredible. Now, I will say that this does cost you in-game currency as well as real-life money, as the copper-fed salvage-o-matic, you guessed it, feeds off of copper every time that you use it. But it will save you so much strife in the long run just by having this item. And the best part, you can put this in one of your shared inventory slots, and then none of your characters will ever have to worry about having a salvage kit on them. They are basically set for life. And the best part, this sits at about $10 to purchase outright. That's not bad. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and give it a like, and then of course hit that subscribe button because you will be gifted a free imaginary cup of coffee. Patent pending. This is my most important gem item that you can purchase. Without a doubt, in my mind, no questions asked. The most important gem item that you can purchase is the story missions for Living World Season 4. Reason being? Because no other purchase in this game can have an impact on your account the same way as 2 additional mounts have. Literally, this purchase will make the rest of your time here in Guild Wars 2 significantly more easy, as well as being incredibly convenient by having specifically the Sky Scale, one of the 2 flying mounts in the game. Overall, it is incredibly useful to have. The Roller Beetle is of course an added bonus, but nothing else in the gem store can alter the way that you play in the game like having the Flying Boy. Now this one is a bit tricky because each of the story missions cost about 200 gems and there are 6 episodes. So 1200 gems for this, meaning about $15 in gems. But they sometimes go on sale for an entire pack for less than 1,000 gems, so keep an eye out for that. And this also means that you have to complete the story of Living World Season 4 as well as the collection piece for the Sky Scale and train it through the mastery system. But once you have taken those steps, which isn't costing you any more money, it will be one of the best things that you can do for your account. Absolutely the most important purchase. I of course do have some honorable mentions here, as the bag expander, which adds a bag slot onto a single specific character. This can be incredibly beneficial if you only have 1 to 2 characters that you really like to play, as I do. And each one of these bag slots only cost about $5, but it is only for that character, so keep that in mind. Another honorable mention will be the World Boss Portal device. This item teleports you wherever interior there may be a World Boss fight that's happening or about to happen, which is incredibly useful given the amount of gold farm that can come from this, not to mention some of the materials. The last honorable mention I will give is the Home Portal Stoic, which teleports you directly to your home instance for your specific character. This gains more and more value as you have specific nodes at your home base which you can farm daily, but these specific nodes can be found a number of ways, but more likely than not you will find them on the gem store running at about $10 each. There are plenty of ways to spend money in this game, so make smart decisions. If you are interested in learning about the things that you should do first in Guild Wars 2 once you hit max level, click this video here. Stay caffeinated, folks.